Det går ikke stille for sig, når man er til E3 Los Angeles. Her er der altså blevet bygget en hel sportsbar. Det er en del af en stand, og ved siden af mig sidder en af herrerne, der er med til at lave Mafia 2. Vi fik en snak med dem sidste år. Lad os prøve at høre, hvad der er sket siden. So, we had a chat a long time ago, almost a year ago, and we talked about the same game. Now we're back, and we've tried it. It looks good. What has been the biggest difference since back then? What is like the most cool thing that has happened?
Well, it's finished. That's the biggest thing we've finished. It's like what you saw last year was a very early version of what we hope to be able to give to players. And as you said, you played it yourself. It's on the floor here. It's all over at different booths. You know, people playing it for real. You know, this thing exists. It finishes. It's finished, and it's great. You know, that's the biggest thing that's changed. Is the whole game's done. So we're really excited about that. You know, we're really pumped that we're able to let people play it for the second time here, and really sort of get a taste of the great Mafia experience that we're bringing to players.
So now you can kick back and relax.
I can kick back and relax and hang out with people like you know. So I guess this is kind of relaxing. Yeah, sure. So it is. The hard work is done, definitely, and the team, they're going off on a good long summer break that they've really earned. So we got a few more things to do, but yeah, generally we're looking pretty good now.
There've been so many good open world titles these past couple of months and the past year. What has helped you to think like, okay, we can make it even better than what's out there, or was that never the plan?
Yeah, no, it's a very good question. It's a very good question. And Mafia 2, it's a very sort of cinematic, story-based game. You know, actually, we've really embraced the sort of linearity of our story, so we can really deliver a great cinematic experience. That's what's most important to us. So, in that respect, we think of it more like Uncharted, say, than we do Red Dead Redemption or GTA. You know, and yes, it takes place in a very big, large, open world, but that is needed to sort of make our story believable, to really sort of form a great sort of backdrop for the story to exist and work. So, in a lot of ways, we've seen these great games come out, but it's really, we've always been focused on what we're doing, which is delivering a great cinematic experience for Mafia, and I don't think we've deviated far from that path, and I think hopefully gamers will agree with us.
Do you have to love the old Mafia movies and stuff like that to play this game? Or do you think this could make anybody want to be a Mafia guy?
I think there's huge mass appeal to those movies anyway. And I think you see stuff like, obviously the genre is quite wide ranging in that respect movie-wise. So you got Goodfellas, Godfather at one end, and then maybe like you go across to things like Scarface and The Departed, and the more recent sort of, Scarface not so recent, but very sort of different sort of stuff. It's more gangster movie experience, and some of them are framed in sort of Mafia story. You can even look at gangster movies. There's been maybe Snatch and Lock, Stock and stuff like that. I think anyone that enjoys a good story about criminal activity, and the big thing about Mafia for us, it's got great characters, it's got a great story, you know, it has these great VO direction, great delivery of the lines. So anyone who's really into storytelling in games and great storytelling, great period setting in games, you know what I mean? I think this will appeal to those sorts of gamers.
Did you take any inspiration to the characters out of maybe some of the old movies?
We drew inspirations from everywhere. Yeah, I think you can see clearly that these characters are familiar, even though they're very new characters. We looked all around, not even just Mafia movies. There's different places that we looked, you know, other 50s sort of inspired icons, you know, think James Dean, think Marlon Brando, as well as that, think more recent sort of people like Joe Pesci in sort of Goodfellas and Casino, obviously Robert De Niro, all these great sort of Mafia sort of gangster sort of actors. They've all served as inspiration, as well as that as some unknown people that we've just like gone to because we like the look of them or stuff like that. We've really gone to a lot of trouble with the research that we've done for the game, especially the characters.
There's a lot of games who functions the same way that Mafia 2 does. Have you done anything to maybe separate yourself from that or take it to another level?
So one of the things that we touched on is that we talked a little bit about the fact that it's a real vast open world. Now what a lot of games tend to do is they tend to dilute their mechanics but actually deliver a much larger scope, and we've actually done the reverse of that. We've actually reduced the scope of our mechanics, but we've focused in. So what you end up with is things like the gunplay, the melee combat and the driving are really sort of really high quality sort of experiences you experience today. It's like, you know what I mean, things like the cover system and the targeting are much tighter than you'd expect from an open world game. When you go into these interior environments, you know, they're hugely destructible, which is very impressive for a sort of 10 square mile open world. So what we decided to do is we really sort of focused in on our core mechanics and really made sure they're the best that they could be for a game set in this sort of genre.
Mafia 3?
Who knows? Let's just get Mafia 2 out of the way, and if I told you about that, I might have to actually whack you, you know.
Cool. I don't want to be whacked. I think that's it for now. Bye.